let's roll. I hope I'm not gonna blind you guys too much because we have sun, which is a rare occasion, so I'm not gonna be mad about it. But it is really hard to film when it's too much sun because I'm just screaming all white, even though I'm, you know, probably lacking a few vitamins D. I'm still happy about this weather. If you saw my vlog, I think 2 vlogs ago, when I did push, I did say that my shoulder I felt a bit pain in it. At the moment I didn't think it was gonna last for that long, but I've had pain for sorry for my voice, for 2 days, and it's getting better though, way better. And it's not in the planche position, it is mainly in the dips. Only when I'm back here with my shoulder, that's when I feel some strain. So I think the planche training is gonna be decent. Today is gonna be front either way, so I get 1 more extra day of rest. But I'm gonna skip dips for at least a few more days, because it's not worth training if you have that pain. And I feel like it's good and bad pain. Bad pain is the one that in for maybe more than 2 days, that can be a sort of overtraining. Whereas if I were to just feel sore the day after, that can just be that I'm just tired in the muscles, or I'm a fatigue, but it's not gonna be harmful in a sense. But I think this is a bit worse, so I'm gonna rest it for a little while, until at least next week, maybe 4 more days. Not too long, but the plan is also gonna be next week. It's gonna be a deload week, because now I've done a few weeks of pretty damn hard training, and in the rings as well. I've done it for 2 months now roughly, but it's still pretty harsh on the body since I'm not super comfortable with it. And in rings especially, it takes way more biceps than usual than on straight bar training, and the small movements, the control you need to have, it's also a, let's say, high chance of injuries. So it takes a lot on the body, and therefore I'm gonna have a deload next week, even though it's not been necessarily 5 weeks since the last one. Sometimes I just need to take it whenever I need it, not necessarily just follow a strict schedule. So that's gonna be the plan. Like, even if I've trained for almost 6 years at least with calisthenics, but I've always been into training, I still manage to overtrain from time to time. You're also gonna see the high level performing athletes almost in any sport. Then one, at least, I don't have statistics on it, but one of the main reasons to losing progress or being away is overtraining. And if you really think about it, it makes sense, because if you're at the top, you're also training extremely close to failure, because you want to train as hard as possible but not getting injured, and that is a fine margin. That's why it's really easy to overtrain. Especially, I feel like sometimes when I have really good workouts, I push myself a bit too much, because I have the dopamine, adrenaline in the body, and I don't really think about it too much. I'm like, oh, I feel strong, so let's just push it a bit harder than usual, and that's not good. That's when the risk is increasing a lot. So I think I did that with the dips. I was a bit too cocky with it, since I did 70. I don't know what I started at. Maybe it was 60 kg I started at. I think so, 50. Then every week or almost every session I did increase the dips. And last time I did 75 kg. And it is decent reps, but thinking of it, it's really high. Close to my failure as well, so not good. I think pay the price. My body is telling me to rest from it, and that's what I'm gonna do. Because it's not worth dragging it out for a period, still training and like, oh, it's gonna solve itself after a little while. I rather just wanna get good from the beginning, and hopefully I just need a few days. Most likely it's not too bad. But the plan for today is front lever training, and I'm gonna try the one on front lever as well, because I did mention it's only in the dip position that I feel pain. Like, yesterday I did freestyle and I did some planche as well, and that felt pretty good. Like, I didn't feel any additional strain in the shoulder. So I'm gonna try one arm front lever today, see how it is, and in general stick to the schedule. And this would be the final ring workout on pull, or the final front lever ring workout. As of next week, when I'm doing deload, it's gonna be back on parallettes and straight bar training. So that's the plan. I see you in the gym. Alrighty, just for your knowledge, I did buy a cage for the camera, which means that I can now put my iPhone on top and film for like Instagram stories or other things, and then still film for YouTube. So if you see me using this phone, this is my old iPhone 8. I've had this one for many years. I've saved it so I can have music on it, since I'm using this one for filming. I can have music and do timing for the different sets, and yeah. That's gonna be the reason why I'm using this one, if you're wondering. But now, let's get into the workout, and we are starting off with some front lever pull-ups. Let's start it off with 11 front lever pull-ups. Last session did go pretty damn good. Even if my shoulder was a bit painful, didn't affect the front lever too much, which is good. and I felt strong in general. So that was a good session. Let's see if we can live up to the standard for this one as well. Music seemed to work. Just remember that I always need to check the ropes or the rings, and it is not on the same as usual. I have to fix this, otherwise it's gonna be extremely tough. And I'm gonna be standing here wondering why I feel so weak. But in general, it's just a harder variation. Now we're back on track. Let's get this first set going. Oh yeah, pretty solid for being first set. Front lever has always been my favorite, so I always feel a bit stronger in front lever in general compared to planche training. But of course, some workouts are also extremely heavy. But this one felt pretty good, so might be a nice workout. Set number 2. Let's do a form check as well from the side, see if my hips and legs are elevated at the same time. I mentioned this before, but my main problem in front lever pull-ups is not really necessarily to touch the rings or the bar, depending on where I'm training. It's to get my legs elevated pretty much at the same rate as my upper body. Because a lot of times it's, let's say this is my upper body, this one would move and do the full range of motion, but my legs are almost staying at the same place. And in my opinion, I don't know, I would still count it as a front lever pull-ups because it's extremely heavy, but it's not clean in my opinion. So let's see if I'm doing it right or if I gotta change something. Felt pretty decent. I'm really strong in the pulling strength. I did feel low in the last reps. I'm starting to do sort of a small hip movement to gain momentum, small sheeting, but it's only in the last 2 reps and doesn't change things too much. Time for the final set. Do shirtless as well. And if you're wondering why I only do 3 sets on each exercise, it's just a preference, to be honest. It's more about, in the end of the workout, how many sets have you done in total and how much time and attention have you gotten. But for me to do 3 sets, it's enough, because I do think it's a bit boring to do 4 sets or 5 sets of the same thing. That's really the only reason why I'm doing 3 sets, because it's enough to enjoy it, get good connection and training from it, but not getting bored. And that, of course, instead of me doing 4 sets here, I would then add another exercise. So that's why I do about 5 or 6 exercises per session. So it adds up to be about 18 sets per workout, between 15 and 18, which is pretty good in my opinion, where it's been working for me at least. Pretty decent. Next up we have the one arm front lever, and I did skip it last session because of the shoulder. Even though it's not the main muscle, do feel some straining it when I'm holding the one arm. One arm is a lot of strength, so you basically feel the whole body. But today the shoulder is better, and I also only feel it in the dip position, so it's not too bad. Therefore I will still give this one a shot. However, if it's too painful or I do feel pain in it, I'm just gonna skip it. It's not worth getting more pain or make the injury longer than it has to be. Let's see if my music works. 11 seconds each arm. Decent. Now on to the painful arm. Pretty decent. Left arm is my weak arm. That one was, at least 11-second hold. The right arm is the one I'm having a slight pain in. That one was pretty good as well. I did feel the pain, but it's just because it is, in the arm. But no, not in a bad way, hopefully. But I'm gonna do 2 more sets because it went pretty good. On to set number 2. It is heavy. Shut up. This might be the number 1 exercise where I always forget to breathe. And as soon as the timer goes off, I'm like, because I forgotten it. I remember also when I started training, as soon as I started to breathe, I lost the form. Because, you know, it's a lot of core connection as well. Like holding myself up, shoulder and lats, that strength, that's one part. But then you still need to hold the legs up. And that's from the core strength. So when I used to breathe, I would lose the core. Now I'm starting to control it a bit, but still pretty common that I actually forget to breathe. It's fine if I'm doing just sets like this, but in competition, it's crucial. If I forget to breathe during statics, if I do freestyles or something else after, or in general just longer combos, I'm fucked. Because I need oxygen, especially if I, you know, wanna have a bit more endurance throughout the whole combo, so to say. Now, 1 more set. All right. Sorry for that noise. It's literally the same one you wake up in the morning to, so the emotions related to this timer sound is bad ones. Unless you love waking up in the morning. Most of the time I do want to wake up, but some days it's not. And then this is literally the worst song or sound that you can hear. I think it's Victorian for the next one. I'm pretty sure. And it's back on P-bars. Victorian has been going pretty damn well lately. So I think today is also going to be pretty strong since my overall strength for capacity today seemed to be on top. The Victorian hold, 11 seconds, 3 sets. The pretty standard reps and sets for me. I know, not too much to think about right now. I'm gonna see the form in the first set. Always try to get my chest as high up as possible. Same with the hips. I rather want to look like a banana this way, upwards, than a banana downwards where the ass is, you know, towards the ground. I want to have the opposite. Or that's what I think about, like almost exaggerating that part, and then in reality it's so damn heavy, so your body will automatically come down to the right form. But I always try to almost, you know, overdo it. And then for some reason I just get into the right form that way. Still heavy. I think I mentioned this in the third or last, I think it was last session. But when it comes to Victorian and in general a lot of skills, I have to enter it in the right position. Because if I were to enter it and be in the wrong position, for me to adjust and get into the right position, that takes a lot of effort and it's hard to do. So therefore for this one I feel like I entered it a bit too low and therefore my hold was a bit lower than it should be. So next set I'm gonna try to enter a bit higher, see if that makes a difference. Let's get a form check from the side. I think the first few seconds were really good form. Felt like I was higher than I guess ever before. Then I slowly dropped to the last few seconds, but I think that was better. than the first one. Get it, final set. Pretty sick lighting on the tricep, this angle. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it though, but I am pretty damn shredded right now. Diet and everything has been going pretty damn good. I did do 1 day of eating. I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow as well, since it's weekend tomorrow when I'm posting it, 1 day delayed. But for me it's Saturday tomorrow, and that means I'm not in school at least. So then I can put a bit more time into filming. I'm gonna try to do 1 day of eating every weekend, if it's possible, because I do think people enjoy it. Not necessarily that I'm gonna stand there and do something fancy. I'm literally just gonna show you guys what I literally eat, and it's pretty damn basic, because for me it's more about finding things that's easy to do so I can be consistent, and that's how I get results. And I did say this before as well, but worth mentioning again, when I did start taking 200 grams of protein, which is my standard, I'm not hungry throughout the whole day. Like, I eat my 3 big meals and then maybe 1 extra, depending on how much protein I get, but I'm not hungry throughout the whole day. Before, when I didn't eat as much protein, I was always a bit hungry. Especially my size and everything, I could just eat a lot. But now, strict diet with protein, that's the only thing I count. I'm not hungry, which is really good, because that keeps also calories low, even if I'm not necessarily counting calories, and I don't know, everything just falls into place in a good way. No more talking. Let's get into the final set of Victorian. Oof. Last set was a bit heavier, but it's also done a lot today, so not that weird. Next up is the front lever top hold, and I did learn last time that if I had them pretty close together, I was almost able to have them touch. Not throughout the whole 11 seconds, but maybe 5 first seconds touch hold, which is pretty good. Then slight drop, but still a top hold, or I would consider it being one. But now let's do 3 sets, 11 seconds. Definitely not a touch throughout the whole one. Maybe like 3 first seconds this time. It's pretty decent. It's not the best, but as long as I'm not, doing a front lever, somewhere in this range, consider it a top hold, and it's gonna be beneficial. Set number 2. Oof. Heavy. Let's get it. Final set. And then it's time for chin-ups. I did pull-ups last session, so switching it up, doing chin-ups today. But that's after we have slayed this set. I think I had the rings a bit too much apart, hard to touch it, but still pretty solid holds. And if you're wondering also why I'm doing like top front lever holds, I like to combine being strong in the bottom position and being strong in top position. Then the general like pull strength, I think that is easier than to actually hold it here, maybe not to hold it here, but top hold is definitely harder than front pull-ups. So if I'm really strong in this position, that means that when I'm done with my front lever pull-up, I'm also going to be strong here. But if I'm only training front lever pull-ups, I'm just touching the upper position for, almost milliseconds, which is like no time under tension. You've probably seen like Christoph, he's world champion in calisthenics, extremely high level. He can do slow front lever pull-ups to hold. And that's also because he's extremely strong in top hold, extremely strong. And you want to have those targets. Same as in planche push-ups. I can do a lot of planche push-ups, but I can't do a lot of planche push-ups and then hold it afterwards, because I'm weaker in the hold position than I'm in the power dynamic. So I want to be strong in those levels, because then the power dynamic can be way more controlled. Now let's move on to chin-ups. Got myself the 30 kg for chin-ups. It's the same as I did last time. The reason is because I'm a little bit concerned about the shoulder in this one, even if it's obviously not a shoulder exercise. Everything when you're hanging and pulling, and in general something I learned about calisthenics is almost always the whole body is working out. So if I have pain somewhere, I most likely feel it in every single exercise, almost. And that's a bit unfortunate. The only exception is you know, the legs. I can probably take away both of them and I would still be able to do things I do. But 30 kg, 10 reps, 3 sets. I think that's gonna be pretty solid. Pretty solid. Feels strong, but in general, this position is a bit tight. I think it may have been also in the dips, it's from the bottom position, shoulder, bicep, a lot of things is connected. So if I feel pain here, it's most likely gonna affect the bicep as well. That's why I feel it a little bit in this one, but not too bad. Still gonna be able to do 2 more sets. Get it? Set number 2. Tried to get 10 reps in a row without pausing. Went pretty decent, but the reps become a bit sloppy towards the end. By the way, if you've been watching this far, make sure to subscribe as well to the channel. I know a lot of people do subscribe and I appreciate every single one of you that is supporting, writing comments, liking posts, and yeah, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. So make sure to, let's get 1 more set. Let's do the final chin-ups from the behind. See if it looks as good as the pull-up. Usually get a pretty solid back formation. That's what you call it. Oh. Pretty decent. And that was the final one for today as well. Not too exhausted, pretty decent workout in general, and I think we're getting stronger. Still haven't got enough rest to see the full potential of these ring workouts, but since it's deload next week, that I might be able to feel the results. Because you know with training, you never get results like the day after or the same day. Training I'm putting in now can be seen in a few weeks. That's the thing. Like the daily form, the pump and everything, it's sort of a illusion, and how I feel, it's not really reflecting my results. That's why I always mention, even if it's a bad workout, push through it, and then that result that you're putting in now is going to be shown at some point in the future. And that's a good thing. Keeps my motivation pretty far up or high up, because even if it's a shitty workout, I to some degree feel like I'm doing something good. Let's wrap it up. There we go. Everything is recording, even the phone. I'm gonna wrap it up with some flexing. You might enjoy it, but I definitely enjoy it. Get some extra motivation, just because literally after the training, this is where you have like the best form. Double bicep. Oh, I actually remember. Someone told me to put, I think it was the thumb between. Might work. Easier to flex, and then arms inwards or hands. Oof. There's also one thing, if you hold your breath, I notice that veins comes a lot more. Let's try to do this one, and I'm gonna hold my breath, just see if we start to pop, or if I fade. Might not be so good, but let's try it. Holy shit. Start to see a bit more on the shoulders. Let's do it again. I'm just joking. I think we got some solid shots. It was pull today, so let's do some back. I don't know, I'm still not too good at flexing the back. Something like this I've learned. Maybe. Double bicep here as well. And yes, I'm still breathing. And my favorite, my, let's say, standard signature. Okay, let's try to hold the breath here as well. I might get some more veins. Oh, looks like I'm shitting myself. Promise you I'm not. That's it. Got more exhausted from the flexing than the actual workout. Maybe I have to train a bit more on this. But now, let's wrap it up. Go home, eat, sleep, rest, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna do a full day of eating tomorrow, so I'll see you guys then. Make sure to subscribe. It supports the channels a lot, and you know, the more people that we can get on the channel, the more we can do, and it's always fun to inspire. Maybe we can make the calisthenics community grow even faster. But I'll see you guys tomorrow.